Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most exciting phones of 2025, the Honor Magic V5. Now, if you've been following the foldable phone space, you'll know Samsung has dominated with its Z Fold lineup here in the UK. But Honor has been quietly building some of the sleekest, thinnest foldables in the world, and with the Magic V5, they're not just competing, they're challenging Samsung and even undercutting them in a few clever ways. So in this video, I'll be giving you my honest, no-nonsense review of the Honor Magic V5, covering the design, the displays, the performance, cameras, battery, software experience, UK pricing, and whether this phone is actually worth it in 2025. Stick around till the end because I'll also share who this phone is really for, and who should avoid it. Let's start with the design, because honestly, that's the headline feature of the Honor Magic V5. This phone is being called the thinnest foldable in the world, coming in at just around 4.1mm when unfolded, and about 9.8mm when folded. To put that into perspective, it feels shockingly close to a regular flagship phone in the hand. If you've ever held a Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 or even the new Fold 7, you'll know those devices still feel chunky. The Magic V5, on the other hand, feels sleek, elegant, and surprisingly light considering it's a foldable. Build quality is solid. We've got an aluminium frame, Gorilla Glass Victus on the outer screen, and Honor's hinge mechanism which has been improved from last year's Magic V2. The hinge is smooth, quiet, and can hold the phone at different angles for things like video calls or hands-free YouTube viewing. It's not officially IP68 rated like Samsung's latest foldables, which is a bit of a drawback if you're living in rainy UK cities like London, Manchester, or Glasgow. But Honor has added some basic splash resistance. Still, I wouldn't be taking this near the bathtub or out in heavy rain. The Magic V5 features two beautiful OLED displays, and both of them are excellent. Outer display, 6.43 inches, Full HD+, 120Hz refresh rate. Crucially, the aspect ratio feels normal, not narrow and cramped like Samsung's cover screens. That means you can comfortably use this as a regular phone without constantly opening the fold. Inner display, 7.92 inches, nearly 8 inches, with a 2K resolution, HDR10+, and also a 120Hz refresh rate. This panel is bright, colorful, and just immersive for things like Netflix, Disney+, or even just browsing the web. Brightness is excellent too, peaking above 2500 nits outdoors, which is fantastic for sunny days, when we occasionally get them here in the UK. One thing I love, minimal crease visibility. Yes, the crease is still there if you tilt it under light, but day to day, especially when watching videos or gaming, it's barely noticeable. Honor's hinge design really pays off here. Under the hood, the Honor Magic V5 is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 chip, Qualcomm's latest and greatest. This means everything from app launchers to gaming is buttery smooth. In my testing, multitasking with split-screen apps works flawlessly, and the phone barely heats up. Gaming performance is also top tier. Titles like Genshin Impact, PUBG Mobile, and even Fortnite run smoothly at high settings. You also get up to 16 GB of RAM and 1 TB of storage depending on the variant, which is more than enough for even heavy users. Connectivity-wise, it supports full 5G bands in the UK, Wi-Fi 7, and Bluetooth 5.4, so it's as future-proof as you can get. Now, foldables have often compromised on cameras, but the Honor Magic V5 really surprised me here. Main sensor, 50 megapixels, with a large sensor and OIS. Ultra-wide, 50 megapixels again, with strong dynamic range. Telephoto, 64 megapixels periscope zoom with 3.5x optical and up to 100x digital zoom. In daylight, photos are crisp, detailed, and very natural looking. Honor's color science leans towards realistic rather than overly saturated, which I personally prefer. At night, thanks to that large main sensor and Honor's computational photography, shots are surprisingly clean with low noise. It doesn't quite beat Google's Pixel 9 Pro in low light, but it's close. The telephoto is excellent, one of the best I've seen on a foldable. You can zoom into distant subjects, whether that's Big Ben from across Westminster Bridge or players on a football pitch, and still get great results. Video is solid too, 4K at 60 FPS looks sharp, with decent stabilization. Vloggers will appreciate that you can also use the outer display as a viewfinder when recording with the main cameras. Foldables usually struggle with battery life, but the Magic V5 actually performs better than expected. You get a 5300 mAh battery, which is slightly bigger than the Z Fold 7. In real-world usage, I was getting around 7 hours of screen-on time, which easily lasts a full day with heavy use. Charging is where Honor really beats Samsung. You get 66W wired fast charging and 50W wireless charging. That means a full top-up in under an hour with the wired charger, something Samsung still can't match. Software is always the big question mark with foldables. The Magic V5 runs MagicOS 9.0, based on Android 15. Honor has made big strides in optimizing apps for the foldable form factor. Multi-window multitasking feels natural, and most UK apps like BBC iPlayer, Spotify, and banking apps adapt well to the larger screen. Honor promises 5 years of updates, which is decent, but still one step behind Samsung and Google, who are now pushing 7 years. One small gripe: the software skin still feels a bit heavy compared to Pixel or even OnePlus. You'll probably want to spend a few minutes disabling bloatware, but once set up, the experience is smooth and reliable. Now, pricing is where things get interesting. The Honor Magic V5 is launching in the UK starting at around £1,699. That's not cheap by any means, but it's actually slightly less expensive than the Galaxy Z Fold 7, which retails closer to £1,799 to £1,899 depending on storage. Honor is also bundling some offers at launch, like free earbuds or a case, to make it more appealing. The big challenge will be brand trust. Here in the UK, Samsung and Apple dominate. Honor is still building its reputation. But for those willing to give it a shot, you're getting a lot of phone for the money. Pros: slimmest foldable on the market, genuinely pocket-friendly. Gorgeous dual displays with minimal crease. Strong performance with Snapdragon 8 Gen 4. Excellent camera system, especially telephoto. Fast charging with both wired and wireless. Slightly cheaper than Samsung's foldables. Cons: no official IP68 rating. Software support is shorter than Samsung, Google. Honor's brand trust in the UK is still growing. Still very expensive compared to standard flagships. The Honor Magic V5 is perfect if you're a tech enthusiast who wants the latest and greatest foldable. Someone who values a slim design that doesn't feel like a brick in your pocket. A heavy multitasker who wants a big screen for productivity. Or if you want a foldable with actually good cameras, which has been rare until now. You should probably skip this if you're someone who needs waterproofing and the reassurance of Samsung's after-sales support. On a budget, because this is still very much a luxury phone. Or if you're worried about long-term software support. So, that's my honest review of the Honor Magic V5. It's sleek, powerful, and probably the best alternative to Samsung's Fold series we've seen so far. It's not perfect, but it shows that foldables are finally maturing into mainstream-ready devices. What do you think? Would you spend nearly £1,700 on a foldable, or do you think it's still not worth it compared to a normal flagship like the iPhone 16 Pro Max or Galaxy S25 Ultra? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, if you found this review helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you in the next one.